Can I tithe using my pay stub? Hi, I'm Andrew McNair, and one of the biggest mistakes I see people make financially is tithing off their net pay after all their deductions have already came out of their pay stub. I totally understand how this can happen. When you get paid and the amount that arrives in your checking account, you think, well, that's what I'm paid. That's what I have. That's my paycheck. My paycheck shows I make $2,500 every 2 weeks, so I'll tithe $125 a week. Not so fast. Gross income is the total paycheck that you receive from your employer, the total that you can earn before taxes and other expenses are taken out. Net income is what you take home after taxes and other deductions, after the net of deductions comes through. It's your take-home pay. So how do you figure out which is which? How do you know if you're tithing the right amount? Today, we're going to break it all down and show you how to tithe from using your pay stub. So grab a copy of your most recent pay stub or pull it up on your phone, tablet, or computer so you can follow along. Let's get started. First, begin with your earnings section. Depending on your employer, it's usually the first section. This has a nice breakdown of exactly what your income is and how it came over the pay period. For most people, their pay period is every 2 weeks. But I recognize that teachers get paid monthly and the military gets paid on the 1st and the 15th of every month. So there are some variances based on your employer. But you may be working hourly. Maybe you get paid daily or weekly, and this still will apply. In the earnings section of your pay stub, you may see items listed out such as regular pay, vacation pay, disability, sick leave, overtime, and bonuses. These are just a few. Your paycheck may contain many others, but all of these combined equate to your total gross income, which is how much salary you made over the pay period. There should be a line at the bottom of your earnings section that's called gross pay. This is likely not the amount that was deposited into your bank account. Although I am sure I speak for all of us, which I say I wish it was. This is the amount of money that you earned during the pay period before any deductions were drawn out. This amount, the total gross pay, is what you should be tithing on. I always joke, if you're going to brag on the gross, tithe on the gross. So calculate 10% off that amount, and that's your tithe. God calls us to tithe from our total earnings, not just net pay. But don't stop there. I assume you might have other income sources in addition to your regular paycheck. Maybe you are in the side economy, the hustle economy, whatever you want to call it these days. Maybe you Uber on the weekends, or you get rental income or investment dividends. Don't forget to add this amount to the total gross income from your job, then calculate 10% off the total to get your tithe. If you have miscellaneous income coming in from different sources and you're not sure what to tithe on, a good rule of thumb is if the IRS is taxing it, then you should tithe on it too. Now let's go back to your pay stub. We're moving from the earnings section to look at your deductions. You might even have separate sections labeled tax deductions and then additional deductions. Examples of deductions can include such as federal and state tax withholding, 401k contributions, union dues, health, vision, and dental insurance, life insurance, FSAs or flexible spending account contributions, and accidental death and life insurance can be drawn out of this section. Now, that's just only a few. There are many variables. Let's look at that math. Look at your deductions, and you should have a line that says net pay on the bottom. Your net pay is your deductions subtracted from your gross income. And you may be thinking that you're tithing 10% off that amount, but if you're tithing on your net income, then it's probably anywhere from 6 to 8% of your gross income, depending on how much your deductions add up to be. Why is this important? Because God says to give him the full tithe, not a partial tithe. In the book of Malachi, he calls out the Israelites who weren't tithing on their gross pay either. When he says, will man rob God? Yet you are robbing me. But you say, how have we robbed you? And God responds in your tithes and contributions. We want to bring that full tithe into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house. That's what God says. If you're tithing from your net pay, not your gross income, then you're not giving your full tithe. You're not bringing that full tithe into the storehouse. That's not 10%. If you tithe on your net pay only, that's prioritizing your deductions over God. You're basically saying, well, God, you're important to me, but you're not as important as my 401k contribution, my life insurance, and my medical insurance. Those come first. Those will provide for me before you do. Then I tithe on the rest. No, we don't say that. He is the provider. He will comfort us. Think of it this way. Your medical insurance is for your health. Your 401k is for your retirement health and your future security. Your taxes keep you in good standing with the government. Is your wallet saying God is first, or these things are first? You don't pay half of your medical insurance or a percentage of your taxes and expect things to be kosher, but you'll throw a few dollars in the collection plate and assume God will give you a free pass on tithing. The issue is that you're not giving to God your gross, the first fruits of your labor. You're giving him the leftovers after your health insurance and countless other deductions come out of your paycheck first. I do not want you to give God your leftovers. I do not want you to give him what's left in your wallet after my country takes its toll, after my investments are deposited, and after I spend my paycheck on my own needs and desires. Tithing is giving your first fruits to God, the first and the best of what you have. This means God gets paid before anyone else has a claim on your paycheck. The first and the best of my paycheck belongs to the Lord, and to me, that means tithing on gross income after every paycheck. If you're still not sure if you're tithing the full 10%, then a great thing to do is at the end of the year, compare your total earnings on your W-2 with your charitable giving statement. If you're given 10% of your total earnings, then you're on the right track. If not, calculate the difference and give a special offering to the church to get that full 10% so you can be obedient to the Lord. That's it for today. Don't forget to check out my new book, The Giving Crisis. All you have to do is click the link below that will take you to richyoungpowerful.com/book to get the book and all the upgrades, or simply go to Amazon and buy it from there as well. I want to thank you for watching this video. Click subscribe so you don't miss any of our other videos, but be sure to check out my podcast, Rich, Young, and Powerful, on iTunes and Spotify to hear from other philanthropists on how they're giving their tithe on their gross pay as well. Until next time, remember to invest your life into something that will outlive it. Now that's living to give.